Well, it's official. Summer is finally here. And you know what that means? There's new anime to watch. What? Did you think I was gonna be excited to go outside? Pfft, all I do is watch anime. And it totally felt like that in the spring. I watched a total of 7 anime last season, which was a lot for me to keep up with. So, I thought since I watched so many, I could give a detailed report on how I thought spring season 2023 went. And we can even take a look at the stuff that I'm going to be watching in summer. So, without further ado, let's just jump right in. We're going to start things off with my favorite anime of spring season 2023. And that is, of course, Oshinoko. DevBrev, this is the 3rd time you've talked about Oshinoko on camera. Yeah, I know, but can you blame me? This show is phenomenal. Every single week I thought, this is the best anime episode I've ever seen. And then each week I kept thinking that. The show honestly does get better. If you haven't seen the first video I did on Oshinoko, go ahead and check that one out. And I made that video like after the anime only had like 4 episodes out because I was so hyped for it. And I can definitely say that the anime has met, if not exceeded, my expectations. The characters are wonderful, the visuals are fantastic, and the opening and ending songs have been stuck on replay on my playlist since the anime came out. Aqua is definitely one of my favorite characters of all time. I love characters who are quiet on the outside, but who are very maniacal and scheming on the inside. Also, shout out to Kana for being just a fantastic girl. I know she's not the main girl, but I love her little jealous moments, I love her little tsundere moments, plus she's really cute. If you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor and please check out Oshinoko. Anyway, moving on to the next anime. Next, we have My Love Story with Yamada-kun at level 999. The Gamer Romance anime. This one's actually pretty good. It actually shocked me. Episode 1 I thought was really, really solid. See, a year ago, I got broken up with, which was really heartbreaking for me. And episode 1 of Yamada-kun actually deals with this in the most accurate way I've ever seen media handle this. The way that Akane goes through stages dealing with the breakup is super realistic. She starts being really sad, and then she wants revenge, and then she starts being very self-deprecating, and she gets really hammered at one point, which is very self-destructive. You know, I think when people get broken up with, they can kind of go through self-destructive tendencies, and seeing that in the anime was very yeah, that happens. So, it's a little depressing that I am relating to this anime when it opens up so sad, but as the series continues, it sort of gets away from the feel bad for Akane, she's sad, and more into the, look, it's all about video games, and also the romance between these two is really cute and adorable. A lot of the characters are really good too, not as good as with Oshinoko, but they're still pretty solid, and I'm excited to see what more Yamada-kun can give us. It hasn't been confirmed for season 2 as of yet, I don't believe, but I would love to see it get a 2nd season. Next up, we have Tonikaku Kawaii season 2. Okay, so remember in the last segment when I was talking about getting broken up with? Yeah, so when season 1 of Tonikawa aired, 3 years ago, me and that girlfriend were together, and I kind of related a lot to Tonikawa, to me and her when it first came out, and so watching the second season, being newly single, was a little heartbreaking. However, I stuck with it, and I can say Tonakawa is still a really good and cute anime, despite me being really lonely. If you have no idea what Tonakawa is, it's basically just about this boy and girl who are married at a young age, and it's just really cute, really wholesome. One of like the most candy-like romances I can think of. It's so sweet, so pure. Like, there is no ecchi moments, there's no drama, it's just slice of life goodness. Definitely check it out, but I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. So that got a little depressing. But this next show, this is one of those turn your brain off kind of shows. This is one of those, you know, sit back, relax, and just enjoy the ecchi harem goodness. Of course, I am talking about Cafe Terrace and its goddesses, or, as is colloquially known, Quintessential Quintuplets 2. Okay, it's literally quints. Like, every single girl in Cafe Terrace is exactly a parallel of the girls in Quintessential Quintuplets. Is that a bad thing? Not really. Because if you're gonna copy something, you might as well copy something that's good. And I keep saying that I copied it. There is enough differences outside of the characters being the same to where I don't really mind that the characters are super similar. Also, quick side note, speaking of the characters, Riho, best girl. Love her, she's great. Love all her scary faces, love her jealous moments. Weird that I like her and not Shiragiku, because she's the Miku parallel from Quintessential Quintuplets, but whatever. Anyway, Riho's the Nino, and so we're on the characters. Extra points for Ami because of the ponytail. Cafe Terrace has a pretty simple plot, just being our boy Hayato, who takes up ownership of his grandma's cafe, and then he finds these 5 girls living there. Now, I said it was ecchi harem goodness that you could turn your brain off to. Within the first 2 minutes of the show, you don't know any of the girls' names. However, you have seen each of them naked or in their underwear. My kind of show. So I have been having a ton of fun watching Cafe Terrace and its goddesses. I actually went into the manga for this one in like the 5th week it was out, so I've been caught up on the manga like for a while now. I definitely needed this one to lift up my spirits, having watching Tonakawa and the other one. What else was making me sad? Oh, Yamana-kun. And Oshinoko was also pretty heavy. So it's nice when you watch anime to just have something there that's kind of light, kind of stupid, just to make things fun. Anyway, speaking of light shows, let's talk about our next one. So I have talked about this on my channel a little bit, but I am a Yuri fan. And turns out, there was a Yuri anime that came out in spring this year. That is, Yuri Is My Job. Yuri Is My Job was really good right out the gate. Like, episode 4 was phenomenal. The plot to this one is also really simple. It's just about this girl, Hime, who starts working at this concept cafe, and they don't say specifically that it's a Yuri cafe, but it's a Yuri cafe. Like, that's why you're going. You're not going to like, oh, it's the atmosphere with the German, you know, blah, 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 or the food. No, you're going because you want to see these girls, like, practically kiss. That's why the customers go. And That's why I'm watching the anime. No one actually kisses, but they totally should, and they totally want to. Shout out to Tachibana for the ponytail. The first episode of Yuri is My Job had my inner theater kids screaming. I loved watching Hime just overact to her heart's content, and Ida Koji and Tachibana were just over off to the side, just like, she's really laying it on thick there, isn't she? She's gotta dial it back there. And they're just like, Hime-chan, we have to have a little bit more composure in the salon, like trying to tell her like, girl, you need to chill, like in character. And Hime's having none of it. She's just like, acting! Just, like, you go girl, do your own thing, but it's a little cringy. So, I do recommend Yuri's My Job. In fact, everything before I have also recommended. Most of the things I watched weren't really misses. A lot of them were hits. There were a lot of good shows this season. But there was one where I don't really know how I feel about it. And I'm talking about Dangers in My Heart. The premise of Dangers in My Heart is our main boy, Ichikawa, wants to murder the main girl, Yamada. That is not what happens. That is not what this anime is about. Or, I should say, that's what this anime is about for about 5 minutes, and then they just forget about it. Now, were we actually led to believe that this guy actually wanted to murder this girl? I mean, he's only, like, in middle school. No. He has Chunibyo. But, like, you can at least pretend that he's gonna kill her. Like, he talks about, like, oh, I'm gonna plot how to murder her, but, like, he brings that up, like, twice in episode 1, and then we just forget about it. Like, here, I will tell you what this show is actually about. A 6-foot-tall, really hot girl is attracted to this 5'1" gremlin for some reason, and it's cute. That's it. That's what the show's about. If that's what they branded it as, that would be fine. But, I don't know. Also, there was a moment where I really did not buy that Yamada had a thing for Ichikawa. Like, I don't know what he did. Like, okay. Most of the time in romances, I can buy that the main boy likes the main girl and vice versa, and I can get behind them getting together. Not in Dangers in My Heart. I don't like Ichikawa and Yamada as a couple. Mainly because Ichikawa sucks. The whole time I was watching this anime, I kept calling him a gremlin, because that's what he is. He's a little gremlin boy who somehow has attracted the attention of this canonical model. Yamada is a model canonically, and for some reason, she's got a crush on this guy. Also, I mentioned their heights earlier. They claim that Yamada is 5'7". There is no way. I believe that Ichikawa is 5'1", but you ain't telling me that Yamada is only 6 inches taller than him. It's gotta be a full foot. Anyway, that tangent aside, around episode 7 of the anime, it actually got a bit better. It focused more on, like, these two just having really cute moments. Very similar to Tonikawa and the next anime on the list. We'll get to that one. But, yeah, when it was just focusing on these two flirting, I was like, okay, this is the draw of the show. It's still cute, even if I don't buy that these two should go out. I think it was just a little too fast. If they spent some time as friends more, I would get it. But Yamada, like, immediately turning around being like, I have a crush on this guy, it just makes, the suspension of disbelief is just not there for that. But by the end of the anime, I did find myself enjoying it. And a lot of other people were too. I saw a lot of people talking about Dangers in My Heart, which kind of surprised me a little bit, but to each their own. So, I don't really recommend Dangers in My Heart, but it's not that bad. Now, I mentioned the next anime on our list being very cute and wholesome, and actually, this is only partly a spring anime, because the first half aired in winter. Of course, I am talking about Kubo-san Won't Let Me Be Invisible. This one. This one is how you introduce a premise and execute it well. Kubo-san Won't Let Me Be Invisible is about our main character, Shirei Ishikun, who is a background character. He's the main character of the show, but he's a background character in his own life. People can't see him. Like, they just look his direction and they just don't see him. If he does something to get their attention, they'll be like, oh, it's the dude. But otherwise they can't see him. Except, of course, for Kubo. And this leads to a lot of really, really cute scenarios. I love this anime. This one is also like Candy, similar to Tonakawa. So I highly recommend it, especially if you are a romance anime fan. If you don't like slice of life things and you need, more substance, I don't recommend this one. There's not a lot of drama, it's just everyday things and being cute. Alright, next, moving on to something a little different. Technically, this isn't a spring anime, it's really aired in February, but Crunchyroll lists it as a spring simulcast, so we're going to talk about it. Mainly because I want an excuse, because this is Kaguya-sama Love is War, The First Kiss That Never Ends. This was a movie that, again, came out in February, and it is really good. Kaguya-sama is just good in general. A1 Pictures does a really good job with the adaptation, and this part in the manga is really good. They did make one little cut, which I'm actually a little happy that they did, because Tonakawa already made me sad this season. I did not need to watch the Ishigami in Tsubume thing happen. It was in there for like 2 seconds, but I did not need to watch the whole thing for my own mental health. If Kaguya-sama gets to season 4, I'll have to watch it, because they'll probably cover it there. But that's a problem for future me. Right now, we can just focus on the Shirogane and Kage moments, which are really sweet and wholesome. I forgot the whole, breaking down of Shinomiya's character and, seeing, what makes her her. It really makes her seem real. And they did the same thing with Shirogane. If you haven't, seen or read Kaguya-sama Love is War, you really should. It was on my top 10 for a reason. And, speaking of things on my top 10 that came out this season, there was an Oragairu OVA. Oragairu OVA 3 is real! It's real! I have been waiting years for this OVA. It was always in the back of my mind, isn't there, another Oragairu OVA that, they announced that they haven't talked about? And it finally came out. Let me tell you, this OVA was perfect. It was everything you would want out of Oragairu. Just wonderful characters, wonderful interactions. I loved Hiki and Yukino hanging out with her family. I love Iroha and Kamachi's moments. Speaking of Iroha, that moment at the end where Yui and Yukino were fighting over the snack, and Yui was like, better watch out, Yukino. If you don't hold on to it, I'm gonna take it from you. and it's like, oh, they're not talking about snacks. And Hickey's like, oh, that was mine in the first place. And it's like, oh, they're not talking about that. And then he gets one, and he's about to take a bite, and then Iroha just comes over, takes a good old bite out of it, and in the most seductive way possible, just goes, things that belong to others always taste the best. And I'm like, oh, what? Actually left me speechless. Oregairu is one of my favorites. This OVA was amazing. Just some dumb fun. I had a big smile on my face the whole time I was watching it. And yeah, I'm remembering there was this Yui moment that was a little bittersweet. I'm not that big of a Yui fan. You can see where my bias is. But yeah, what a great way to just cap off this season with a really solid OVA from one of my favorite anime ever. So that covers it for spring. All in all, nothing was bad. In fact, I'd say everything got really positive scores. Other than Dangers in My Heart, but 6 out of 10 ain't that bad. So, before we end, we're gonna talk about what I'm excited for in the summer. Because I'm gonna do these reports after every season, but I think it would be fun to make little predictions about what I think each show will be and how I think I'll like it. So we're gonna start with something that I know I am going to like, and that is my most anticipated second season ever, my personal No Game No Life, Masamune Kun's Revenge Season 2. This anime was something that when I saw it initially, I was like, this needs a second season. And it's getting it. I already talked about this in my top 10, but seriously, I am so ready. I have read the manga for this one. I am so hyped. Every day it comes out, I'm gonna watch the anime completely shirtless. I'm gonna be doing all the poses with Masamune. I'm gonna cry like 3 times. I'm gonna get so hyped. I'm gonna go on a run after I watch every episode. I'm gonna go on forever. We have to move on. The next anime I'm really excited for is Mushoku Tensei Season 2. I just finished Season 1 a couple weeks ago, and while it's not one of my favorites, I can definitely say that it is a really solid fantasy anime. I'm not a big action shonen kind of guy, but Mushoku Tensei was definitely able to hold my attention. I loved the whole idea of like starting really small with Rudy being a kid, and like you just see like his family, and then as he grows older we see the village, and then when he really gets older we just open up the world entirely. Like, I thought that was a fantastic way to do world building. A lot of the times the anime is just kind of like, here, world building, words, blah, 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 and it's like, this isn't world building, this is exposition. Mushoku Tensei does a really good job at giving you information in really good increments so that you just don't get overwhelmed. Really excited for Season 2, cannot wait. Next, we're going to talk about 3 anime that I know absolutely nothing about. First up is Liar Liar. This one looks a lot like Classroom of the Elite to me. That's kind of what stuck out and made me want to watch it. Also, I think it was marked as an ecchi on Mao, and that's always going to get my attention. The premise has it being like this, oh, like they're trying to get points, again, like Classroom of the Elite with the whole meritocracy kind of thing. And the main character most likely is going to be one of those maniacal scheming kind of types that I mentioned earlier that I like. So I'm probably going to like the main character too. That's really all I have to say about Liar Liar. I'm expecting to like this one, but again, I am going in completely blind. The next anime I'm going to watch is something that I'm only watching because I know if I make a video on it, it's going to get a lot of views. and that is My Tiny Senpai. The anime hasn't even come out, and Twitter has already lost their collective minds over it. I'm not gonna speak on it now, but yeah. I'm just watching it just so that I can see, like, if Twitter is right. I know they're not right, but I'm just gonna watch it. I'll make a video out of it. It'll get a lot of views, more content for me. So, and honestly, it seems like something I might like anyway. I mean, I like Nagatoro, and Twitter didn't like Nagatoro. Did Twitter like Nagatoro? Anyway, I think I'm gonna like it anyway, but yeah, you know my motives for why I'm watching this one. Lastly, we have The Dreaming Boy is a Realist. This just looks like a cute romance. It will not be me watching an anime season if there wasn't at least one cute romance. Again, I have no idea if I'm gonna like this one or not. I hope I do, and I hope it's not a danger to my heart. I hope we lead more Kubo-san and less that one, but only time will tell. And yeah, it seems like everything's looking pretty exciting. There doesn't seem to be anything here that... Why is Rent-A-Girlfriend on the screen? Why is Rent-A-Girlfriend getting a third season? Why am I going to watch it? Why does life hate me? Okay, so I watched Rent-A-Girlfriend Season 1 as it came out. Then I started reading the manga, and I've been doing that for the past 3 years, and I am exhausted. But I am trucking forward. I refuse to be beaten by this manga. I want to see how it ends. It's just, it keeps going. But honestly, Season 3, for my knowledge, from what I think is going to happen, it's going to adapt like the last good part of Rent-A-Girlfriend. So, if you've been watching Rent-A-Girlfriend and you're just an anime only and you're scared about like, oh, like, the manga people keep complaining, when's it going to go bad? You got a little bit until it goes bad. Until after Season 3. Or maybe the back half of Season 3, depending on how much time happens between Season 2 and Season 3. I don't really remember a whole lot what happens. I think midway through will be the last good part, and then it'll start declining. And I'm gonna call it right now, the Paradise arc is gonna be a movie. And when that comes out eventually, I'll probably watch that too. But anyway, other than Rent-A-Girlfriend, I'm gonna really enjoy summer. I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm glad that I had a really good time watching spring anime this year. So, with that, make sure you guys like and subscribe so that you can totally watch when I talk about all those summer anime and say if I liked them or if I didn't. Rent-A-Girlfriend, not gonna like it. So, oh, and also, comment down below. Tell me if you watched anything in spring. Tell me what you're excited for in the summer. But until then, sayonara.